Lesson 13. The Untouchable. The sweeper boy splashed water over the coarse matting that was lying on the doorway, and for a while the air was cooled. I sat on the edge of my bed, starting out of the open window, brooding upon the dusty road shimmering in the noonday heat. A car passed, and the dust rose in billowing clouds. Across the road lived the people who were supposed to look after me while my father lay in the hospital with malaria. I was supposed to stay with them, sleep with them, but except for meals, I kept away. I did not like them, and they came and they did not like me. For a week, probably longer, I was going to live alone in the red brick bungalow on the outskirts of the town on the fringe of the jungle. At night, the sweeper boy would keep guard, sleeping in the kitchen. Apart from him, I had no company on the neighbors' children. I did not like them, and they did not like me. Their mother said, "Don't play with the sweeper boy, he is unclean. Don't touch him. Remember, his is a servant. You must come and play with my boys." Well, I did not intend playing with the sweeper boy, but neither did I intend playing with her children. I was going to sit on my bed all week and wait for my father to come home. Sweeper boy, all day he pattered up and down between the house and the water tank with the bucket clanging against his knees, back and forth with a wide, friendly smile. I frowned at him. He was about my age, 10. He had short, cropped hair, very white teeth, and muddy feet, hands and face. All he wore was an old pair of khaki shorts. The rest of his body was bare, burnt a deep brown. At every trip to the water tank, he bathed and returned dripping and glistening from head to toe. I dripped with sweat. It was supposedly below my station to bath at the tank where the gardener, water carrier, cooks, ahas, sweepers and their children all collected. I was the son of a sahib, and convention ruled that I did not play with servant children. But I was just as determined not to play with the other sahib's children, for I did not like them and they did not like me. I watched the flies buzzing against the window pane, the lizards scuttling across the rafters, the wind scattering petals of scorched, long dead flowers. The sweeper boy smiled and saluted in play. I avoided his eyes and said, "Go away." He went into the kitchen. I rose and crossed the room and lifted my son's helmet off the hat stand. A centipede ran down the wall across the floor. I screamed and jumped on the bed, shouting for help. The sweeper boy darted in. I saw me on the bed, the centipede on the floor, and picking a large book off the shelf, slammed it down on the repulsive insect. I remained standing on my bed, trembling with fear and revulsion. He laughed at me, showing his teeth, and I blushed and said, "Get out." I could not touch or approach the hat or hat stand. I sat on the bed and longed for my father to come home. A mosquito passed close by me and sang in my ear. Half-heartedly, I clutched at it and missed, and it disappeared behind the dressing table. That mosquito, I reasoned, gave the malaria to my father. Now it is trying to give it to me. The next door lady walked through the compound and smiled thinly from outside the window. I glared back at her. The sweeper boys passed with the bucket and grinned. I turned away. in bed at night with the lights on. I tried reading, but even books could not quell my anxiety. The sweeper boy moved about the house, bolting doors, fastening windows. He asked me if I had any orders. I shook my head. He skipped across to the electric switch, turned off the light, and slipped into his quarters. Outside, inside, all was dark. Only one shaft of light squeezed in through a crack in the sweeper boy's door, and then that too went out. I began to wish I had stayed with the neighbors. The darkness worried me, silent and close silent, as if in suspense. Once a bat flew flat against the window, falling to the ground outside. Once an owl hooted. Sometimes a dog barked, and I taunted as a jackal howled hideously in the jungle behind the bungalow, but nothing could break the overall stillness, the night silence. Only a dry puff of wind, it rustled in the trees and put me in mind of a snake slithering over dry leaves and twigs. I remembered a tale I had been told not long too of a sleeping boy who had been bitten by a cobra. I could not sleep. I longed for my father. The shutters rattled, the doors creaked. It was a night for ghosts. Ghost! God, why did I have to think of them? My God, there standing by the bathroom door. My father, died from the malaria and come to see me. Threw myself at the switch. The room lit up. I sank down on the bed in complete exhaustion, the sweat soaking my nightclothes. It was not my father I had seen. It was his dressing gown hanging on the bathroom door. It had not been taken with him to the hospital. I turned off the light. The hush outside seemed deeper, nearer. I remembered the centipede, the bat, thought of the cobra and the sleeping boy, pulled the sheet tight over my head. If I could see nothing, well then, nothing could see me. A thunderclap shattered the brooding stillness. I dived deeper beneath the bedclothes, gathered the pillow about my ears. But at the next thunderclap, louder this time, louder than I had ever heard, I laughed from my bed. I could not stand it. I fled, blundering into the sweeper boy's room. The boy sat on the bare floor. "What is happening?" he asked. The lightning flashed and his teeth and eyes flashed with it. Then he was a blur in the darkness. "I'm afraid," I said. I moved towards him and my hand touched a cold shoulder. "Stay here," he said. "I too am afraid." I sat down, my back against the wall beside the untouchable, the outcast, and the thunder and the lightning ceased, and the rain came down, swishing and drumming on the corrugated roof. "The rainy season has started," observed the sweeper boy, turning to me. His smile played with the darkness, and he laughed. And I laughed too, but feebly. But I was happy and safe. The scent of the weather blew in through the skylight, and the rain fell harder. Ruskin Bond. Word meaning: brooding, wrong or ponder. Blowing, surging. Fringe, border. Pattered, run with quick light steps. Quell, to make less. Grin, showing the teeth. Slithering, sliding. Blur, become unclear. Corrugated, pant in folds. Hush, silence. Ceased, stopped. Let's learn grammar. The noun, its kinds and use. A noun is a word used for naming a person, a place, or an object that we can hear, see, touch, smell, taste, think of, or feel about. There are 5 kinds of noun: pronoun, common noun, collective noun, material noun, and abstract noun.